Now let's look at playing videos on Android, and we'll also look at the pause and restart methods along the way. So the first thing I want to explain is that Genymotion is a great emulator, but it doesn't completely support everything that is supported in an actual device. And one of the notable exceptions in Genymotion is that it has very limited support for video playback. So it works for 3GP video, does not work for MP4, at least not H.264 MP4, and and if you have big videos, it will bog your player down and lots of bad stuff will happen. So just because a video doesn't play correctly in the emulator doesn't mean it won't actually play correctly on your device. The other gotcha here is that I'm going to show you a setting in VirtualBox that will make your video playback work better, more efficiently. So I'm going to exit out of here and I'm going to stop my Genymotion emulator entirely. And then I'm going to go to All Programs, Oracle VM VirtualBox, and launch Oracle VM VirtualBox. Okay, this is where your emulator really lives. And the one I was just using is this Google Nexus 7. And you can sometimes match. And what I want to do is go to Settings, and under System, you'll notice that there are some acceleration settings. Actually, I want Display. And I want to enable 3D acceleration and 2D acceleration. And we'll go ahead and say OK. And then, now that we've done that, I'm going to relaunch the emulator. And that will make your video run more smoothly in Genymotion. Okay, so while that's going on, let's go ahead and look at video. So there's a couple of different ways to play video. The easiest one by far is to use something called a video view. And it's just a view like any other view. So we're going to go to our activity main. And let me wrap this whole thing inside of a linear layout and then center it. So those will be wrapped content. And then we'll put that here at the bottom. And we'll tab these over. And I'm just going to add a video view here. And these will be wrap content as well. And I'm going to add an ID to it. And we'll call this my video view. So this is most of what I need to play a video. And then I have to have some Java on the other side. I could hard code a resource here, but that's no fun. So I'm going to go to the main activity. And I have to decide when I want to start my video playing. So let's look at our activity lifecycle and figure that out. So I don't actually have to start the video playing until until the app becomes visible. So when the app becomes visible, this is a good time to start showing the video view. Not actually playing it necessarily, but so let's look at the onStart event as a place to put our video. So onStart, I should have one here. I should have ordered these a little better. Oh, it's already on start because that's where I set my timer up. So right after I set my timer, what I want to do is get the video view is equal to video view find resource by ID r.id.video view. And then I want to create something called a URI, which is a uniform resource indicator or index, and I'll call that URI. It's equal to. Now, instead of creating a new one, what I'm going to do is call a static method on the class. Don't worry if that doesn't mean anything to you yet. Basically, I want to say URI.parse, and here I'm going to give it a URL on the web for some video that I want to play back. Alt plus enter. Okay, to resolve that. Now, I've put a video up online that you can use that's compatible with Genymotion. So if you go to my Spot account, spot.pcc.edu, and Goodman Videos 135M, you'll see in here is a Tom and Jerry.3GP. Don't click on it to download it. You just downloaded 9 megabytes. Actually, right-click here, say copy link address, and then go back to Android, paste that in, put double quotes around it because it's text, and that should work. Okay, so now I have a URI. In order to play the video, I have to set the video URI and just pass it in that URI. So this tells the VideoView what video to play, and then to start the video, I just say view.start. And that's the bare minimum, but that's really all you need. So let's go ahead and run it on Genymotion. Actually, let's see how Genymotion's doing here. Still starting up. So we'll give it we'll wait for the Genymotion to continue here. I think this Genymotion might be dead, actually. Okay, so if your Genymotion gets wedged, I put a video up about this, but go ahead and start the task manager. And we're going to go ahead and kill these ADBs. Cancel that. Cancel that. Okay, now go back to the task manager. Kill this. Close the program. Get rid of these ADBs. And then look for any virtual boxes that might be running. So VBox headless, VBox net, and VirtualBox interface. Okay. Now let's try starting it again. See if it starts up this time. Okay, that looks better. So now it's starting up correctly. Get rid of that. Okay, so unlock it and run our app. Select Genymotion. Oh, okay, so I can play this video. The video format's actually okay, but I forgot one thing that's really important. My app does not have permission to talk to the internet. So I have to give it that permission before it can access resources on the web. And the way you do that is in the Android manifest. And right here at the top under manifest, before your application, say uses permission, and then the one that you want is android.permission.internet, like so. So this basically says that as part of this app, the app requires this permission, and then if the user goes to install this from the Play Store, it will ask them whether they want to grant this permission to the app. Now let's try it. Okay. Now let's go turn back on what we turned off. So let's go to developer settings and turn this back on. And now go here. Yes. Okay, there we go. So I forgot to set the orientation on my inner layout. let's go ahead and fix that. So activity main, and let's set the orientation in here, and this is going to be vertical. Okay, now we can play our video and figure out what's going on. Oh, actually I want to do one other thing here. I want to set gravity to center here so that my video is centered. Great. Okay, so it's playing. Watch what happens when I hit pause. Nothing. Basically, it continues playing in the background, and this may not be what you want. So let's go ahead and change that. So this time what we want to do is looking at the activity lifecycle. When the user launches a dialog that partially obscures the interface, on pause is called, and that puts us in pause state. And then when the dialog goes away, on resume is called. So what we want to do on pause is grab where we are in the current video and then pause the video. And then when we get on resume, we want to seek to the position that we were at where we paused and start. There is actually something called resume on VideoView, but it doesn't do what you want it to do. So let's look at how to do this. Now the first thing we want to do is we're going to be accessing the VideoView from a bunch of different methods, and we could do this each time, but it's not particularly efficient to always be finding the same view over and over again. And so let's go ahead and just do that once in our onCreate. And we're going to make this a member variable called mView. And that's going to be private. Like so. So now when our app is first created, we're going to grab the video view and do this once, and then we can access mView everywhere instead of having to fetch it each time. So all we need to do to use that is just say mView.setVideo and mView.start. And now in our onPause, we want to get the position. So let's start the video position. To 0, the start of the video. And on pause, we're going to set current pause equal to mView get current position. And then we're going to call mView.pause. Now on resume, let's look at what's happening here. So right now on start is where we actually start playing the video. But really we want to do this on resume because it will either get called on resume here or on resume here. So on start will set the URI for the video, but on resume is actually going to start playing it. And that way when we pause it and then resume, it will do the same thing as it did here. So I'm going to go, I'll leave this here, but then I'll move the start down here. And then before I do that, I also want to set the current position of the video to seek to, and then our current pause. Okay, so the first time we play it, When we create our app, we'll set the URL, and then we'll seek to 0 and start. Then when we pause, we'll store the current position and pause. And then on resume, we'll seek to the current position and start. And that's really what we want it to do. So let's go ahead and see if it works. So running, let's pause, and OK. Now, when you do this at home, you'll probably notice that it doesn't seek to exactly the same position in the video, and that's just an eccentricity of how videos are buffered and played, but it's close. You get a little hiccup. Okay, so I just stopped the video, and now if I restart it, actually I destroyed the video. But now, since I'm handling pause and resume correctly, it should also work if I stop and restart. So I pause that, and then if I restart, it should automatically go to the right place. And it does. Okay, rather than watching Tom and Jerry anymore, in the next video, optionally, I'll show you the media controller, so that'll be an optional video. And in the last video, we'll look at recreating this app when it gets destroyed by the operating system.